first and foremost, if we go back to what I said originally, I think that most states that we've been dealing with are considering expanding into this new opportunity for gambling are copying very much a high percentage of our regulations so that they can move quickly. They also have a benefit in that we've licensed and improved hundreds of companies that are clearly not operating in the gaming world in their jurisdiction. And so they have the ability of accepting and the work that we've done in the past to approve companies that are going to try to come in, not only the B2C companies, but B2B companies, the platforms, the technology we've approved. So they really have an opportunity to get up and going fast. Now, the nature of the gaming industry is always a copycat industry, whether you're in the private sector or whether you're a regulator. We all want to take the best practices and implement them as soon as we can. And I'm hoping that some jurisdictions, when they come in, maybe tweak their regulations or tweak things differently, and we'll be able to take from them new successes that we weren't focused on and make our system that much stronger. But I think the benefit for the entire country in the end will be if we continue to do the work that we've done here over the last 3 years and work together in a collaborative way and share information. We're going to have a very strong model for interstate regulation and allowing the United States to work together through our various jurisdictions to deal in a very comprehensive way with issues that may come to us that are unknown today. Because I can assure anybody, having dealt with this for only the short period of time I've been here, there's not a day goes by that something doesn't come up that is new, novel, and unique that requires us to sit down and discuss it as regulators to understand if we're doing our regulations the right way or if there's new challenges that we want to move in a new direction. And if anybody thinks that you're just going to flip the switch and then sit back and collect revenue with this type of wagering, you're in a big mistake. You better get the right people in play. You better get the right assistance. Your law enforcement agencies need to be intimately involved. The business in itself is a gambling business, but there are unique features to it that your skill set has to be up and developing. And the more and more states that come in and perform well, we're all going to suffer, not suffer, but benefit from that expansion. And a couple areas I've always said in sports wagering that we're now focused on much more heavily than we've ever been in the online world, for example, is when I look at the online sports wagering and as compared to online casino gambling, we're working on that in a way that the challenges in that area are unique. Not only the technology challenges to make sure the technology delivers on the promises that it has proposed, but the technology offers opportunities to do things better and improved to enhance the protections that all the regulators want, whether it be consumer protection, whether it be protecting vulnerable populations, be they responsible gaming people, the addicted population that exists there, underage, truth in advertising, all the things that we want to do well and we want to share with other agencies who are involved in protecting the rights of our citizens. So that's going to be a big challenge. And if we as regulators do not do a better job in the future, it could be the Achilles heel of online sports wagering. One only need to look at the United Kingdom and see what they're going through now. As we do our homework and improve upon the systems that we have in play today, I don't want to be in a position of reaching that type of an adversarial relationship between the government and the business community. It does not serve anybody's best interest or benefits. And so as we work together now to achieve and overcome those challenges that are there today and will always be there in the future, I'm very optimistic that we're going to, again, have a model that not only works for us in New Jersey, works in our country, and can be copied by other jurisdictions throughout the world as a proven model of success. So I'm really optimistic where we go in the future.
In order to ensure that sports betting continues to perform well, I think we need to be mindful that this is a rapidly evolving industry and the regulator has to evolve with it. We have to be open to new technologies and innovations so that our sportsbook operators can continue to be competitive and that the industry can continue to be viable. At the same time, though, we have to make sure that we are implementing our regulatory functions. We have to make sure that the operators who are engaged in this business are suitable and have the requisite character, honesty, and integrity that is necessary. We need to make sure that the operations are suitable and that strong internal controls are in place. We need to make sure that the games are fair and that the player is getting paid when they win and that the player can understand the rules of the game. And we need to make sure that taxes and fees are being appropriately paid by those who are operating in the space. And finally, we need to make sure that there are protections for the vulnerable. And I think if we can carry out all of those regulatory functions and be open to innovation, then we will be well on our way to creating a sustainable industry.
In the state of Mississippi, we do not have an off-premise mobile sports wagering option. And that is something that the state's going to need to compete with the surrounding states. That's the one thing that we can control. The thing we can't control are the other states getting sports wagering, such as Georgia, Alabama. While they don't have any type of that going on, I keep reading about them introducing bills. When Tennessee opened their sports wagering mobile device in November, we could see a direct effect on our properties in North Mississippi. When Louisiana, who does have legal sports wagering, they're just trying to figure out which option they use. Depending on which option, that could have a drastic effect on the state of Mississippi. So if there's one thing on a going forward basis that will help us maintain the momentum we've had, I think it's going to be an off-premise mobile sports wagering option.
I think the different developments that might help the sports industry continue to perform well, it will evolve here in the next few years. I think at this point we're seeing rapid expansion in the market, and I think that will be the case for the next few years. But at some point the market will settle. A number of the companies, even though the products look a little different, at the end of the day, it's wagering on sports. And so I think we'll see the companies that offer greater promotions, that have maybe a more friendly type of wagering application that customers feel comfortable with. Those types of companies will gravitate and take hold of the market in the long run. And so, what is that next phase in sports wagering? I think one thing may be for the sports companies to be able to offer content. In other words, if a customer is wanting to wager on a particular event, could they watch that event while they're wagering? Especially if the sports operator is offering in-play wagering, to be able to watch those events take place and wager at the same time, I think maybe the next step. And so that really is from an operations standpoint. From a regulator standpoint, I think what we'll see is some standardization in different areas within jurisdictions, specifically what types of technology standards are in place to get a product launched or an update launched in multiple jurisdictions. We talked about accounting systems, having those accounting systems as some sort of standard, but maybe also a network risk assessment or a penetration testing to make sure that everyone's platform is indeed safe for customers. And so from a regulatory standpoint, those may be some areas that we see come in the next few years, and with maybe some generally accepted standards that are approved or accepted by multiple jurisdictions, and that may help operators launch quickly into each of the states.